To Senator Thelma Harper, and the issue is the election of 2006 and the Tennessee General Assembly. And of course, we almost said the National Democratic Party, Senator Harper, because we do expect you to talk about
Yes.
what is going on the national scale. But let's continue our conversation.
Well, one of the issues that we have infused a significant amount of money into education, and in our two-year colleges and our four-year colleges, and of course, naturally, tuition goes up, and that it doesn't satisfy all of the expenses that are involved in our students getting an education. In our two-year colleges, we call them community colleges now. And I think you know that there was a mandate that said if students needed remedial help, they had to go to the two-year college to get it rather than four-year college, because that is the assistance that they should have gotten when they were in high school. So we have, with Nashville Tech out here, they have had they've not had a real good building program. So when we appropriated money for them to upgrade their campus, they didn't have a cafeteria. And they have a waiting list of students. So we've infused money into pre-K, and we've done what we can, you know, on the lower level. Now we're trying to help our higher education component, and you'll see some infusion there, and you'll see the construction, and so just trying to bring them up to the same level as some of the other institutions. And of course, Vol State, when the tornado hit, they were damaged quite heavily, but they're getting back up and running. And you'll see some things happen at Tennessee State University. And so what we've done is, you know, we have an education committee, but we try to keep a close tab on what's happening in our higher education component. We have our Board of Regents, we have the University of Tennessee, and then we have THEC, Tennessee Higher Education Commission, who oversees much of that. And we're running quite well now. I think one of the greatest complaints we have is there's a waiting list everywhere. MTSU has a substantial waiting list of students.
That's
who,
really,
and interesting part is that many of those students come from right here in Nashville. You know, they drive that 45 miles one way every day to MTSU. Tennessee State University does not have a waiting list, but they have a significant number of students this year. And of course, the new president is working diligently to, you know, to get everything on board. He's a hard worker, and I think Tennessee State University is competitive. They have a good operation out there. One of the things I'd like to do is just move to our most recent election as it involves a national election. I think many of us were disappointed that, I call him Little Harold, that Congressman Harold Ford was not successful in his bid for United States Senator. He would have made an outstanding senator. Now, I worked with, as many of us did, we worked with Mr. Corker when he was Commissioner on Finance and Administration. And I think he ran the race, you know, that he thought he needed to run. I think some of the infusion into that race was just totally improper. That young woman who looked like she didn't have any clothes
Call
on.
me Harold.
Yes, she should not. That never should have gone into a campaign. And when people campaign, now I heard that, you know, he couldn't control that. When I ran, I controlled what happened on my campaign, and I think he should have controlled that. That's right. Cut that out. What you need to talk about is, what are you going to do for the people of the state of Tennessee? And of course, we were not successful in getting little Harold in, and there's been an awful lot about, you know, what our thoughts are. I just think he's qualified and competent.
I think he is.
And I think he has a life. And he has a life ahead of him. You know, thank the Lord, he's young, and he's prepared, and he's gifted. So we won't have to worry about that. But on a national scale, I think you saw the tables turn. In 1994, I think the Republican Party took over, and it was, well, it was what it was, and it is what it is. But now the Democrats have taken over, and people seem excited. I think one of the things that I've been very unhappy with, they have made an issue out of Nancy Pelosi. And it's a female thing.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, I know so.
Okay.
If that had been a man in that same posture, they would not have said one word.
What are they saying about her now?
Well, I think it goes back to Adam and Eve, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
I think whenever there's a woman who assumes that much power and leadership. There is
serious woman.
Serious woman, yes. And they try to find demerits. I don't see anything at all wrong with the fact that she earned it. She was at the right place at the right time, and then she lost on a candidate. But you know, you don't trade old friends for new. She's doing the same thing that Newt Gingrich did, and all of the rest of them. On the other side, they put Mr. Trent Lott back. He beat out our United States Senator Lamar Alexander. So, but you didn't hear that much about that. But I think it concerns me that they have focused so much on her decision-making ability. But I thought she strutted in and talked to the president, just like a business person would. She did exactly what she was supposed to do. But I think people are still in shock. They're still in shock that she is the speaker, because they've done the same thing with Senator Clinton. I mean, you listen to the radio and they're so disrespectful. And I dare say, if I were running for lieutenant governor and I became lieutenant governor, you would hear the same kind of thing. It shouldn't be. It's a business decision. We know how to do business. Allow us to do business the way you do business.
And I think the female has demonstrated that, not only in politics but all across the board, education and everywhere else.
Well, I think one of the things that sometimes the population does not want to admit, women have run campaigns. We're the ones who get our men elected.
That's right.
So now it's just a sharing of the power. And we know how to do business. And it has not set very well. But in looking at what the real issues are, you know, the immigration issue, people are concerned about that. That they are concerned, because it has a direct bearing on your educational system, on your health system. I mean, and it does. You can't allow people who are here to just lay out in the street and die. You got to feed children and help mothers and fathers when they become ill. So it does tax your system.
It really does.
It impacts your system. Then the other issue is, you know, when you listen on a daily basis and see our young men and women dying in the war, and some of them, they're just babies when they're 18, 19, 20 years old. They offer themselves, yes, but that's not the way we intended. We didn't intend for them to come back and
like this.
No, indeed. And it looks like we're just not going anywhere. You know, there's not a plan. And the ultimate goal, we don't know what the ultimate goal, we don't even know what the planned ultimate goal is. And you keep hearing, well, should we pull out now? Well, if you pull out now, they'll just follow us home, and we know that. But we must have some exit strategy,
some kind of
some way. So I think that's the vote, the national votes indicated that people were unhappy.